You know, I watched the trailer for Mortal Kombat 11 a few times, and I even made my own with better music. And I sat back and I thought to myself, do you know what would be great? A Mortal Kombat movie. And then it hit me. We've got two. So I decided to watch them both again, and instantly wished I didn't. Get ready for spoilers, because here we go. Roll intro. Now, before we 2-foot slide tackle this nonsense, I think it's only fair to set up the ground rules. Now, Mortal Kombat only became a thing in 1993. The first movie came out in 1995. Now, what this means is there wasn't a lot of lore to explore. Today, we have books, comics, fan shows, and more games that are story based. So in 25 years, Mortal Kombat has come a long way in exposing character backstories. So when New Line Cinema released Mortal Kombat in 1995, this was nothing more than a cash grab from something that had quickly become a worldwide phenomenon. And you could tell just by looking at the production value of this film. Bad actors, bad visual effects that have not aged well. The story itself was simple enough. Protagonist brother is killed to set up a vengeance plot. The supporting roles are Sonya Blade, who's trying to apprehend Kano. Johnny Cage is called a fake martial artist, so he has to prove himself by winning the tournament. And then there's Raiden, who just seems to float about.
Sorry.
Outside of that, it's nothing more than a slow motion martial arts flick. And romantic interests just seem to appear from nowhere and don't get any nurturing.
Because I can't let what happened to Art happen to you. Not to you.
Now, like I mentioned earlier, we can't be too harsh on the story by today's standards because there weren't any written in 1995. So a simplified version of the film is, fight tournament, bad guy changes rules to set up final confrontation, and that's it. The thing that annoyed me most about the first flick was the treatment of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Now, Sub-Zero is defeated by having a pail of water thrown at him, and Scorpion loses what appears to be all mobility when he takes his face off to show more bad visual effects. From the very beginning, these two deserve to stay alive for a sequel, or at least get a warrior's death. A fatality or something. I mean, pay homage to the games that made them famous, for goodness sake. The second installment is even worse. After a 90% recast of characters from the original film, we discovered that Shao Kahn has broken sacred rules, which the Elder Gods just happen to be fine with, by the way.
So you will stand by and watch the ruination of Earth?
You are correct.
And the only way to stop him is to reunite Princess Kitana with her mother Sindel, who has been brainwashed by Shao Kahn and his father, who also turns out to be an Elder God. I'm not even joking. That's it. And guess what? It doesn't work.
I have never loved you. With such a pathetic child as you, what reason was there to live?
As it turns out, the only way to defeat Shao Kahn is to defeat him in Mortal Kombat, after the Elder Gods make him mortal. After allowing him to cheat in the first place.
Your blood flows, Khan. Just like the blood of a mortal.
Father, how can this be?
I warned you there would be consequences for breaking the sacred rules.
Oh, and did I mention that they decided to make Raiden and Shao Kahn brothers for this? Just for the lols? Well, yeah, they did.
If your father's an elder god, what does that make Khan?
Shao Kahn is my brother.
This is the only time this has happened, as they're not brothers in any of the Mortal Kombat games with the exception of Mortal Kombat vs the DCU, but that game isn't canon, obviously. The film suffers from the same ailments as its predecessor, poor acting and bad effects, which are cranked up to 100 with the introduction of the animality ability, which looks like one of these god-awful old Godzilla films. I watched these films and asked myself, why do I like these films originally? Well, the answer is simple. Back then, I was a lot younger, and we saw our favourite characters portrayed on screen. And it was awesome. It was like seeing Batman or one of our favourite superheroes today. But I found myself not caring about the stuff that I was supposed to care about. Liu Kang's brother's death, the romantic angles, the desire for vengeance. There was just so much crammed in, with the focus being on the slow motion kicks and punches. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel martial arts are more impressive to watch in real time. I mean, I understand that the 90s was the decade of slow motion action flicks, but it ruins the pacing of a fight and makes it difficult to get excited about. Now, as a sort of final thought, these two films can't be afforded the time to be the only cinematic representation of a great franchise anymore. We need a fresh take. I mean, who would direct it? I don't know. Me? I mean, I would love a crack at it. I may even write a script and see if I can put my money where my mouth is. But I suppose we're going to leave this video with, what would you guys like to see in a Mortal Kombat film if it was to be remade? Who would you cast? Who should direct it? What would the story arc be? I'd love to hear your comments. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a thing. And until next time guys, I have been RabsPapa and you have been tremendous for watching. And I'm out.
This puny mortal will be no trouble. I'll crush him in one blow.
Alright. Let's dance.
Sorry.
Fight!